messy in the middle, and glorious at the end. I have said this saying so many times in the past year, and I went today as far as putting a post on social media because I think this phrase means everything when we think about anything from big changes to small changes in habits in our life. But I drew a picture here, and if you look at this, let's look at this as change. The first thing that happens is we make a decision. When we make a decision, maybe we're tired of the way it is, we're tired of our clothes fitting tight, or we're tired of a relationship, or we're tired of a job we're in. And we spend a lot of time here thinking about making the change, and it takes us time to go to the first place where we decide, I'm going to go ahead and make that change. Now, that's the biggest step. The biggest step, in my opinion, is the decision to even take that first step. So that's awesome to even get to this point. But here's what happens next, is we get into the change. And things get really messy. It gets really chaotic there. Now, I can remember a time in my life, a couple years ago as a matter of fact, and I happened to be moving. I was moving from Chicago back to my hometown of St. Louis. I was recently divorced. I was selling my house. I was packing up. And most importantly to me, and probably the most difficult part of that change, was leaving a network of friends, family, social connections. My whole medical sales and training career actually started in that town that I lived in. So I was leaving a lot behind about the identity I had about myself. So as you can imagine, I remember feeling all this noise and craziness going through my mind. And I remember thinking a few times, questioning, is this really the right decision? And I almost wanted to leave this decision, and I questioned it, wondering, did I make the right decision? Because my emotions were triggering a lot of different thoughts of, was this a mistake? Why is this so difficult? Am I ever going to get through this? Am I losing my mind? Am I crazy to even be doing this? But then what happened was something, the glorious side of change. After all of the crazy chaos, I decided to stick with it and to go through all the way to the end. And I made that change. I made that big move. Now, it was a move in many ways for myself, not just a physical move from one town to another, which that in and of itself, for anyone that's moved knows that's a big deal. But what it really came down to for me, the glorious part of the change came at the end. It came when I could finally just say I looked back on it. I could look back and see what I had done, the changes, the shifts. For me, it was also about shifting my identity. And the glorious side of that to me, everyone, was that I finally got to see that I had made the right decision. I really felt it in my gut. I felt calm. I felt peaceful. I felt reconnected to my friends and family back in the town that I have lived in most of my life. And even more so, I made new relationships. I made new friends. I even met my fiance during that time. And I started a new career path in habit coaching, and I started doing some sales training work at a different company. So things grew and blossomed. But I wanted to bring this up because if we think about the transitions, number one, change is difficult in the beginning. It's difficult to even get to that point to take the first step. Messy in the middle. We are going to face emotion. We're going to face this terror barrier, as I call it. And we are going to be tempted to walk away, or better yet, we may be tempted to even go backwards. But what I want to tell you is this. Winners never quit and quitters never win. So if you feel like you are at that messy point in the middle, remember, it's temporary. It's normal to feel like you want to walk away. And the most important thing is remember and remind yourself that if you can get through this point, you will get to the glory at the end. The glory at the end, peace of mind, identity shift, habit shift, and overall, the realization that you made the right decision to ride out the storm.